Pratisanti Sukani Cha Tatraiva Pasamamayanti Tasmai Satyatane Namah Jnata Jnanam Tadha Jnanam Tadha Karta hai tu Mai Gyamta Tane Namah Purante Sikarajasmat Ananda Sambhadevanam Sarve Sahamvanamatasmai Brahmanandatane Namaha Brahmanandatane Namaha Vedodadhim Samanmatya Jnanaratnam Samudritam Yena Tasmai Vasithaya Guruna Gurave Namah Vasithji Bhagavan Ki Jai Sadguru Bhagavan Ki
Jai
Satchidananda Bhagavan
Ki
Sabda Brahma Ki Jai Saraswati Maharani Ki Jai Yoga Vasithji Bhagavan Ki Jai Hare Om.
Dear friends, kindly mute yourself.
Thank you all for your sweet presence. Last time we were discussing on pranayam, and last time I gave you the introduction. Vashistha, the great teacher, he went to see the eternal being, Kakavasand, and he asked some questions, and Kakavasandji is replying him. And the question was on life, eternal life. How can you live eternally? What happens to you when the whole creation dissolves? So Bhusandji is explaining, even though everything dissolves, I keep up my identity as the supreme truth. And then I again, when creation begins, at my will, I create my body and mind, etc. Whatever is required, at my will, I create it. And because I have attained highest knowledge in this crow body, so I like this body. So when the creation starts, I create this crow body. But my identity is never lost. This we can understand from small instance. You see, now it is daylight here, daylight, bright sunlight, and after some time, the dark night will come. Everywhere it happens. What happens to the blueness of the sky? Blueness of the sky. Now the sky is blue. At dark night, pitch dark night, how will be the sky? What will be the color of the sky? At pitch dark night, will it be black or it will be blue? Does it change? The sky keeps up its blueness eternally. And next day, when sun rises, sky is again blue. Pitch dark night, midnight, it will be dark. No moon night. So it will be, the sky will be dark only. We cannot see the blueness of the sky. Or shall you put some torchlight to see the blueness of the sky? What happens? The blueness is eternally there. It is not affected by the presence of daylight or night, darkness of night. And truly speaking, there is no blueness, there is no color of the sky, because it is so vast. We cannot understand anything about sky. We cannot see the sky. Whatever is invisible, it appears as dark or blue, deep blue. This we may say it is blue, but really, if you go to the sky high up, it doesn't appear as blue. It remains colorless. We call it dark or black. And the same thing here we see as blueness. So blueness is not a color, but it is colorlessness. So this remains eternally. So this idea of the body, it is an idea only, so it can remain eternally. Understood now? The idea of the body can remain eternally as the idea. It is never affected by the creation or dissolution. It is, it has got no existence. So it remains as it is. Another example, absence of sun. Absence of sun, the sun. Now it is present. Okay. What do we mean by presence of the sun? Let it be anything, whether sun or moon or your mountain or star or river or anything. What do you mean by presence? And what do we mean by absence? If presence you mean it is, how do you mean presence? The presence cannot change. It is existence. Existence, it remains always without having any changes. So it will remain eternally. So simple to understand. And absence, there is no absence when we talk of presence. And that absence also neither it exists nor it doesn't exist. No question. We have just given some name for absence. That means when you are unable to talk or see about the presence, somehow it is covered up. It is not understood by your mind or senses or your perceptive instruments, whatever it is. Then you call it absence. Now, there is a star. It is far, far, far away from earth, whose, whose light, that means ray of light, has not yet reached earth plane. It is so far. So what do you say? Will you accept its presence or absence? What will you say? A star is there away from earth whose ray of light has not been reached yet on earth plane. Billions of light years away. It is there present. Can you deny it? You cannot deny it, you cannot accept it. Now suppose a star is dead, which was say 100,000 light years away. 100,000 light years away from Earth. But 10,000 light years before, it was crossed, it was dissolved. 10,000 light years back before, it was dissolved. Now it has become a black hole, we cannot see. But till now, we were getting the ray of light. So we were able to see the star, which was not there. Which was not there. We are able to see. And we are not able to see which is there. See the difference between presence and absence. Presence and absence, they are only two words. It indicates one eternal existence which is beyond the words or beyond our speech and thoughts. That existence. But yet we have to speak something in our relative life. We have to communicate each other by the help of some language, some sound. So we have to use something. So we use presence or absence. Actually, these words have no meaning. One should have thorough understanding on it. Now, coming to our point, our Kakabhusan, the crow saint, eternal saint. He explains to Vashistha about his method of pranayam, method of meditating on prana, upon etc., our vital energy, and thereby he meditates on the holder of prana, that means the cause for prana, that is the absolute truth. When one meditates on prana or apana, when prana stops or apana stops, then what happens? He explained before that in between the starting and ending of prana or apana, there will be a gap. That gap is known as we can say absence of prana or apana. We can say, but it is not the real meaning. We can say kumbhak, kumbhak, we name it. Kumbhak means where there is no prana, there is no apana, neither prana uh, starts nor ends. Same thing with apana, neither apana starts nor ends there. It is absolute equilibrium state. In between the starting and ending of both prana and apana. And prana goes on changing into apana every moment because prana is work and apana is cold. So the warmth gets modified into coolness, and coolness again gets modified into warmth. So in this way, prana goes on changing itself into apana. When it goes out, it gets cooled down, and at a distance, it stops. Again, it comes back towards the source where from it started, that is called heart, inner heart, the state of equilibrium. In this way, the prana goes out and it becomes upon and comes in. Again, it upon becomes prana and goes out. In this way, it goes out and comes in. And one, the same breath, we have named it according to its qualities. So this same prana, same breath goes out, it gets cooled down, and again it comes back. When it comes back inside the body through the nostrils, then it gets warm up, so it has to go out also. In this way, it goes on in the cycle. So in between there will be some gap, some juncture where neither starting nor ending. So that state is called the absolute existence, the absolute truth. So when you meditate on this motion outside and inside motion of the breathing system, naturally you have to experience the, the gap, that is the basic point where from it starts and ends, and it has got no existence. But when this breathing system stops, then what remains? The truth, that existence, the equilibrium remains as it is. So one has to, one is bound to meditate on that. Maybe it is for a fraction of a second. Everyone, every being experiences it, but nobody is aware of it. Only yogi who is aware of this outgoing and incoming of the breath, then he will experience it and he will be aware of it. Everybody is experiencing, but nobody is aware of it. When you meditate on the breathing system, then you are bound to be aware of that gap. You are bound to experience that. And yogis, they feel that, experience that gap all the time. So that is the absolute existence, absolute equilibrium. So in this way, but our pro saint Vashistha Bhushanji, he says, I meditate on prana and apana, and I meditate on the basic, the substratum of prana and apana, and I keep quiet. I am not worried about the existence of the world or dissolution of the world. So then question comes, we have to have some doubts. If you don't have any concern on the creation and dissolution, then Why do you create this body? And why do you do all this? Now you are speaking, explaining to me. And all the time, all these birds, they gather together around you and they hear you. And you go on doing satsang eternally. Why it is? So for this, the answer is not explaining, but we have to understand it as an answer. You see, it is an automatic process. Whether you are aware or not, your body goes on doing something or other. If you are not aware of your breathing system, do you think you don't breathe? You are not aware of your breathing out or in at the time of deep sleep. What happens at that time? Do you breathe or not? Whether you are aware or not, the process goes on. This process is done by the nature, it is not by the you. When one understands this thoroughly well, that you are not the doer, everything is being done by the nature. The nature does all the actions and it creates the reaction also to every action by the help of the instruments, namely three qualities, sattas, rajas, tamas, and all these different basic elements and the five units of perception, that is vision, seeing, hearing, and smelling, touching, and tasting. All these are the units of perception. Through this, you perceive the world outside or inside objects by the senses and by the mind also. So all these work, the body means the senses, means the mind, means the intellect. All these all these instruments, they go on doing actions by the prompting, by the force of three qualities, sattva, rajas, tamas. These qualities also, how do they force you to act? When they are in an equilibrium state, there is no action. When they get disbalanced, then there will be starting of action. That is called the process of nature. And when action starts, that is by changing the state of equilibrium. So the whole nature does everything. All the actions are done by the nature. This process by changing. and that changing process is known as action. So the same action in the due course, it becomes reaction. This is the method of action and reaction, cause and effect. This goes on naturally, that means automatically. This process is known as nature. So one who is aware of his own existence as a witness, he will be just an witness. He will not be the doer, so he will not be concerned about all these process going on. In this way, the process goes on. The yogis and great wise people who experience this state, they are not bothered about all these actions which is going on. So this collecting all the good souls as bards or some other saints and delivering some discourses talking about the truth. All these, it is a natural process. Kakavustan is never concerned with it. His existence is different from this. This is what we have to understand. Everything goes on automatically. Electronic process. Electronic process. Yes. Electronic. Automatic. This is called nature. Everything repeats. Everything goes on in cycle. So he goes on giving examples again and again how meditating on prana and apana, one gets dissolved in, loses his own identity in the absolute truth, the substratum for everything, the, the cause for everything. जो प्राण विलय का और जो अपान विनाश का समीप एवं अंत में रहकर प्रकाशक है, तथा जो प्राण और अपान के अंदर रहता है, हम लोग उस चिदात्मा की उपासना करते हैं. The absolute existence, the supreme truth, which is in and out of this breathing system, prana and apan, that absolute truth we meditate upon. That's why we become eternal. ब्रह्मन प्राण के प्राणन व्यापार में सबसे बढ़ चढ़कर जो निमित्त भूत है, जीव के जीवन आदि व्यापार में जो सबसे बढ़ चढ़कर निमित्त भूत है, देह के धारण आदि व्यापार में जो सर्वप्रथम हेतुभूत है, उस चिदात्मा के हम लोग प्रार्थना करते हैं. We go on meditating on the basic cause for everything, the causeless cause, the absolute truth, which is responsible, means which appears as if all these transactions done by the prana and apana It goes on by the force of the presence of the Absolute. That is the, we can say, but it is not the reality. But we have to say, that is the root cause for everything. That we meditate upon. I shall give you an example of presence. How the presence is cause for every action. The presence never does anything, but because of the presence, everything goes on.
Irresponsible.
It is one way we can say it is responsible. The other way also we can say it cannot be responsible. See, the absolute truth means absolute existence. The existence exists in all conditions, at all time, in all space, everywhere. The existence cannot be denied. So, on this basis, everything is going on. The creation starts appearing, and again, when it appears, the time, space, and causations start, and when all these disappear, the creation also, visible world also disappear. It disappears into the base. How there is a theater going on a pendal, some stage. Some people are playing some drama. You are sitting in the audience. When there will be a curtain, a drop of the curtain, what do you see? Nothing. Curtain only. Where do they go? All those actors
Disappeared for us. For us, it disappeared.
Can you say they are absent?
Yeah.
Can you say the pendal is dissolved? You don't see. Again, when the curtain is removed, then you see only the pendal. Then some people enter, some actors enter into the pendal from both sides. Then you see they will be doing something. Again they go out. The pendal is empty. Now the curtain is again before you. So in this way, this world drama goes on. It appears and disappears, but the substratum, the pendal is absolute truth. It remains for all the time. When the audience go home, do you think the pendal is destroyed? No. Other audience will go. It goes on. It goes on. In the same way. And another example I shall give you on the presence, how the presence works, but yet it is not responsible for all the works going on. You see, I am here in the ashram. So the hospital is going on, and our kitchen is also going on, and our gardener is doing the gardening. The persons, caretakers of the cows, they are taking care. Everything is going on, and everything is going on smoothly. Why? I am not doing anything. Just my presence is enough. Swamiji is there. Out of my fear, everybody does their duty. When I am not here, sometimes long before, I used to go to Bangalore, sometimes go to Bhubaneswar, Delhi. Sometimes I used to go to Pune, Bombay. I will be absent in ashram. And what do they do, you know? There is a saying, if the lion is there, all the animals, they are afraid of the lion in the forest. When the lion is not there, they dance and move about freely. So when I am absent in the ashram, all these workers,
Still the work goes on.
they will do the work, but haphazardly.
Fear.
A lot of casualness.
Casualness, there is no fear of Swami. Not here, we are free, like that.
Once it happened, once I was not here, and our Dr. Sahib and Jaipal, he was learning driving, and he took some vehicle, and they went to some mobile camp, and 3-4 hospital stops, and Dr. Sahib was there. Jaipal was driving, and it was a hilly track where he had to put. He was in a I used to say in a speed, high speed, and all of a sudden he had to turn around. So he had to put brake. Instead of putting brake, he put the leg on the accelerator. And it went out of the track and turned. And
Upside
people were upset.
Upside down.
Yes, and people were hurt. Some people were bleeding. They had wounds. Somebody was unconscious also. Somehow they were collected, they were gathered, and they came back to the hospital, our district hospital, and all those district doctors, they were known to our doctor. So they hid the whole case. They didn't inform police people. They didn't inform anyone. And everything was cleaned from the board, from the blackboard. Everything is clean. Nobody knows what happened. And they didn't inform me. I was at that time at Bangalore. They didn't inform me. I came 10 days afterwards, and I saw some bandages on somebody's head, some bandages on somebody's hands. Something. I asked what happened. No, I got little hot somewhere. Somebody's eye was also hot. So They didn't open out the secret. Long afterwards, when they were whispering, then I could hear it, and I came to know that there was an accident, and they didn't tell me because I will be upset. I will be honored of them. I will ban them. They didn't tell me anything. This is what goes on in absence. Another example I shall tell you. Once our President of India, he wanted to come to uh, see Swamiji, Chidanand Swamiji. When Chidanand Swamiji was at uh, uh, Gangotri, at that time, both wanted to meet each other at Gangotri. So, Chidanand Swamiji gave his program to the president, and the president made his program accordingly. So, it was declared the president is coming to Gangotri on a particular day. So all the measures were taken, all the preparations are to be done, and all the departments were alert. Water department, water supply, electric supply, everything, all the police people, CID people, health department, sanitation department, forest department, everybody was alert and so clean, neat and clean. Everything was beautifully decorated. Gangotri was looking just as a queen. And somehow everything was ready. Some 3-4 days before, President cancelled his presence, a program. But Chidanand Swamiji had to go there. His program was not cancelled. I was with him. And when we reached Gangotri, Gangotri was something else. So Chidanand Swamiji asked me, Premananda, Gangotri looks so beautiful. How is it? It is something strange. What has happened? I said, Swamiji, the president had to come. So everything was set all right. Everything was decorated. Everything is made in order. And now president has cancelled his program. He is not coming. So Chidanand Swamiji gave this example to me. This is how only the rumor has made everything. President didn't come. Only the news, only the information has done everything. So what is responsible for all this? Who will be responsible? The presence of president, or you may say it is the information, the news is responsible for all this. This is how the supreme truth never does anything. It is eternally existing, and the world goes on appearing itself, disappearing itself, just as the beauty of Gangotri appeared at that time, and afterwards again Gangotri became dirty. everything again was disordered. At that time, everything was in order. So this is how the creation goes on and it disappears also. The creation and dissolutions, they go on and on for eternity. Though the truth, supreme truth, is neither responsible for it nor not responsible for it. This is how we have to understand. Similarly, the great souls, the wise people, just as our Kakabhusan and other great saints, realized souls, they keep up their identity different from the body and the whole process going on by the body, senses, and everything. The work which is being going on by the body, senses, mind, etc. It is totally different. It is called nature's work. But they are not one with it, neither not one with it. They just witness it. Their presence does it. So now we don't have to have any doubt how all the process goes on by the vital energy, that is breathing system, and it stops also, it again starts also. For everything, the absolute equilibrium of the heart, where from prana starts and ends, is responsible. Or one can meditate on that heart. जो मन को मनन आदि व्यापार में हेतुभूत, जो बुद्धि के बोधन व्यापार में निमित्तभूत है, एवं जो अहंकार के अहंकरण व्यापार में निमित्तभूत है, उस चिदात्मा की हम लोग उपासना करते हैं. In this way, the root cause for the thought process, the root cause for the intellect or the intellectual actions, and the root cause for the ego, we meditate upon the supreme self, which is everything, which is ever present, which is ever existing as the truth, which is the eternal cause for everything and for nothing. ब्रह्मांड जो सूर्य आदि समस्त अवभाषक पदार्थों का भी अवभाषक है, जो समस्त पावन पदार्थों के पावनतम पुण्य रूप है, जो मन बुद्धि आदि के विकारों से तनिक भी अपने वास्तव स्वभाव से च्युत नहीं होता, उस तत्व की हम उपासना करते हैं. We meditate on that light of light, the self-effulgent light, which is cause for all the lights. This light of the sun, light of the moon, or all these luminous identities, They borrow their light, their luminosity from the absolute self-effulgent source. We meditate on that light of life, जिसमें अपान वायु अस्तंगत हो जाता है और जिसमें तनिक भी प्राण का भी उदय नहीं होता, उस समस्त कल्पना कलंकों से निर्मुक्त चित्तत्व की हम लोग उपासना करते हैं. We meditate on that absolutely pure state. Pure means which has got no taints, no taints. It is untainted, spotless. That absolute purity. Purity means oneness. It is not a mixture. We understand purity means oneness, which has got no adulteration, no mixture of anything else. Then we call it pure. That purity means absence of the second. So that non-dual, the absolute singularity, non-duality, which is purest one. We meditate on that truth. Where there is no question of prana or apana. But how do you reach there? Through the help of prana and apana. We start meditating on prana and apana and function of prana and apana and end in the absolute purity where there is no prana, no apana, where everything stops. और बाह्य और अंतर प्रदेश रूप उपाधि वेद का परित्याग कर गत यतस्तोदेति सूर्यास्तम यत्र न गच्छति तम दिवाश्चक्रीरे धर्म स एवाद्य स उ स्व एतद् वेत्तत्. इस श्रुत्यर्थ को हम मन में रख करके जहाँ पर प्राण विलीन हो जाता है, जहाँ अपान भी अस्त हो जाता है और जहाँ प्राण और अपान दोनों उत्पन्न भी नहीं होते, हम लोग उस चित्तत्व की उपासना करते हैं. Again he says, we meditate upon that truth where there is no out nor in, where is no starting of prana or ending of prana, starting of apana or ending of apana. There is neither out nor in. Beforehand, we were talking of the prana which is going out, and when it goes out, it slowly cools down and it takes the name of apana and it stops somewhere. We are talking all through about the out and in and this time and changing process. All this we are discussing. But there is no such in or out. There is no starting or ending. There is no stopping or not stopping. All these are not there. We meditate on that absolute state where there is no divisions, no demarcations to say in and out, this side or that side. No space, no time, no conditions. It is beyond everything. So we meditate on that state. बाह्य और अभ्यंतर प्रदेश में स्थित योगियों द्वारा अनुभूत होने वाले जो दो प्राण और अपान की उत्पत्ति के स्थान है, उन दोनों के अधिष्ठान भूत चित्त तत्व की हम उपासना करते हैं. Again and again he is emphasizing upon the same point, but from different angle, by giving different process through which we can think differently, but we have to end in that absolute truth in the end. He says we meditate on that absolute truth where there is the starting point of prana and apana. Now we were discussing there is no prana, no apana. And again we can say if prana, apana are there, then it starts from there only. We have to say in this way. So if at all you say something on prana and apana, if you accept the presence of prana and apana as vital energy, outgoing and incoming breathing system, then the cause, the root cause for it is the absolute equilibrium of the heart. That is the biggest or smallest, the black hole, the cave of the heart. प्राण अपान एवं कुंभक रूप से तथा उनके विसर्ग रेचक आदि रूप से चित्तत्व ही विवर्तित होता है. इसलिए एकमात्र चित्तत्व की ही उपासना करनी चाहिए. ये कहते हैं आज जो हृदगत प्राण की कुंभक अवस्था का स्वरूप है. पालन. Yes.
The question is, Swami, आपको question.
Yes. वैसा
Thank you.
जो हृदगत प्राण की कुंभकावस्था का स्वरूपभूत है, जो बाहर अपान की कुंभकावस्था का स्वरूपभूत है, और जो पूरक का अंश से विस्तृत है, उस प्रकाशमान जित तत्व की हम उपासना करते हैं. We meditate on that absolute cause, which is cause for the light of or the presence of prana and apana. We meditate on the root cause of the action of prana and apana and its stoppage. We meditate on that root cause of kumbhaka and puraka, means feeding process and exerting process, throwing out process, the root cause of everything. We meditate upon that. From different angles, it goes on explaining on the absolute truth. Yes, what is the question?
The question is, how does the stepping down from the equilibrium happen? How does the disbalance happen?
Disbalance.
Equilibrium happen and disbalance.
Yes, yes. Why not? Beautiful question. The question from audience. When there is absolute equilibrium, how it becomes imbalanced? When, why, how? All these questions should come up. When, how, why, by whom, through whom, on whom? All these questions. It has got only one answer. It has got only one answer only. What is that answer? I gave the answer in the very beginning itself. You are unable to understand. I never forget even a minutest point. You see, very beginning I told the blueness of the sky. The blueness of the sky. When it started, why it started, why the sky looks blue. And when did it start? Does the sky look blue? And if it looks blue, why it looks blue? And when it looks blue, and when it doesn't look blue? All these questions are there. All the questions are there, answer also is there. Because the blueness is not there. So all these questions are meaningless, irrelevant. Yet we have the question. We have the question. So we have to answer something or other. The answers are always relevant to the nature of the question. I'll give you a beautiful example. Beautiful example. The teacher comes to the class and he puts a question to the whole class, all the students. My dear students, be alert. I have a question for you. One who will give the correct answer, I will reward him. Beautiful reward I have. Beautiful gift I have brought. One question. Everybody was alert. See, the question is the express train, the bullet train from Delhi starts and goes towards Bombay, and it has the speed 400 kilometers per hour. Its speed is 400 kilometers per hour. Are you able to hear? Yes, sir. The train, bullet train, Bombay Mail starts from Delhi and go to Bombay at the speed of 400 kilometers per hour. What is my age? What is my age? Come on. What will be my age? How old am I? Has it any relationship? The question and answer, the question is totally different from all the data. No data has a relationship with the other data. So one boy in the back bench, he raised his hand. Sir, I know the answer. Can I? Yes, my dear, come on. Sir, your age is 50 years. You are 50 years old. Correct. Come on. How did you know? How did you know the answer? So the boy says, Sir, my elder brother is 25 years old. My elder brother is 25 years old and he is half mad. So your age should be 50 because you are developing. In this way, did you follow? Because my elder brother is 25 years old and he is half mad. So you are full mad. So you are 50 years old. And it was really 50 years. So the teacher was very glad. Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. This is how I will give you the answer. When did it start? What is the exact question? Wordings.
The stepping down from the equilibrium happen. How does the disbalance happen? Disbalance.
When I said eternal absolute equilibrium, I said it. Absolute equilibrium, absolute existence, eternal existence. Then how can you put the question on this? The disbalance starts. If I ask you why the waves are seen on the surface of water, why?
Nature of nature. That is the nature of the water, Swami.
Why the ripples are created on the superficial water? Why the wind touches us? Why the wind should touch us? When does it touch us? When it starts touching us. When did the eyes start seeing objects?
The same answer. The answer is the same, Swami, for everything.
So, see, all these questions have no meaning because it never gets imbalanced. Never gets. So you are talking of imbalanced state, then only the creation starts.
एक्चुअली वो हिंदी में वही सवाल पूछने वाले थे कि समता में विषमता क्यों आई,
Be some
तो वो उसको phrasing उसकी
same
अलग कर
thing,
दी।
same thing.
Same thing.
Why the creation starts? The creation never starts. It is your problem. It is my problem. If you think creation starts, then it has to exist in a certain level, in some way, at some place, in some time, in some way, in some form, in some conditions. It has to exist, and then it has to again dissolve. So naturally, we have to say it starts and it remains for certain time. Time we also say 100 million, billions of ages, and that is the age of, that is the lifespan of our creator Brahma. Go on telling whatever you like. Has it got any meaning? And then when it ends, when the creator dies, that means creator starts creating from the very beginning, and in the end he ends all the creation and he is dead and gone. Then you will ask, where does he go? And where from he comes? Same thing again. When the creator dies, where will he go? Should he pray for him?
When there is no creation for whom to pray, he will not remain.
All these are only ideas of your mind. Mind is nothing but imbalanced state of the means vibration of the prana. That means all these are thought waves. Waves means ever changing. How can you say something on changing process?
Nobody can say anything except the nature.
I told you the whole creation is based on one theory. Everything changes every moment. Changing phenomena. Nothing is
Permanent and constant.
nothing is constant. Nothing is common. Nothing is similar. Nothing remains as it is. So if these are the basic principle of nature, this creation, how can you put any question on this? When did it start? The moment I say, suppose I say it starts because of this, then it will be changed.
Yeah.
So whatever I say, that will also change. Whatever answer I give to your question, that will change. And whatever question you have put, that has also been changed. So, because it is a changing phenomena. The whole creation is a changing phenomena. That means it is not true. It is not reliable. Whatever I answer, that is not reliable. I shall tell you something today. Tomorrow I shall change it. I shall say something else.
Why you change?
Even your Vashistha Swami every day, Kakushan is telling today, sir. In one chapter it is different, other chapter it is Italian.
Everything will change.
Yeah.
This is the basic principle of the whole creation. I told you in the beginning. That means it is not there. Don't believe it. That is what the purpose of our discussions.
Discussion.
So-called visible world, which we think as the real creation, it is unreal creation. It is not real. If you think it is real, then all these questions are possible. In the very beginning, I said, all these are ideas only. Your meditation process also is an idea. It is not real. Meditation is not done by anyone. You cannot meditate. You cannot meditate, I said emphatically. Meditation is not done by anyone, nor can be done by anyone. It cannot be practiced. Meditation is a state. That state is the experience on the absolute equilibrium. When you start still, without any thoughts, that is called a state of meditation. It is not achieved, it is already there. So the equilibrium is never disturbed. I told you in the middle, if the equilibrium is present in everyone, but few they experience it. Who are aware of it, they are called yogis or the wise people. And the method is whatever we hear on this changing phenomena, we have to go on contemplating. We cannot contemplate on the truth. We cannot contemplate on the equilibrium. We cannot. That is the absolute zone of peace, silence, and contentment, existence, and constancy, and continuity. So you cannot meditate on that. No. So what do you do? What is the process? Process is to negate what you are doing. Negation is the process. That is how all the great souls negating, denying.
Everything. Just deny. Keep on denying the
This is not, this is not, this is not. Neti. This is the process. So if you put some questions, I shall say, this question is not correct. This is the process.
Swamiji, one more question.
Yes.
Can we say that the anahat sound we can hear is the heart in the sound of the prana?
Yes, we can. Certainly we can say, when prana works, suppose prana works, that movement, just as we hear the movement, when the car is standing still, there is no sound. When it starts, there will be some sound. Whatever starts working, there will be some sound. Sound is because of friction. And friction means, what do you mean by friction? Yes, of course, the vibration. That also means the vision of unequilibrium on the plate of equilibrium, on the basement of equilibrium. It is only as in imagination. It is not that true. It is never true. And I give you example again and again. just as the motion, momentum of the car. You say car is moving on the speed of 100 kilometers per hour. Can you say to what does the speed belong? Is it the speed of the car, speed of the body of the car, or the speed of the wheels, or the speed of the engine part, speed of the driver? Driver is fixed. The steering is tightly fixed. It is never moving. The car, the wheel is never moving. The body also, axle also, nothing is moving. But yet we imagine the car is moving on 100 kilometers per hour.
And still we don't know the speed belongs to whom, which part,
Yeah.
whom.
Can you answer
That is
which part is moving in
100
the
kilometers. 100
speed?
kilometers. And everything is constant and fixed.
And we see the speedometer also is moving, but is it moving? The meter hand is never moving. It is straight.
Straight for
It is
100
not.
kilometers.
Do the uh, do the
Pins of the
digits move? Does this hand speedometer hand move? No, nothing. How do you understand? It is moving on 100 kilometer speed.
Yes.
Just imagination. You have accepted it. So in this way, if you have accepted you are a living being and you are the body, and then you are living being, your life is on the transaction of this breathing system. That is called life breath, vital energy. If you have accepted it, then go on through it endlessly. Endlessly. There is no end to it. Not one question. I shall put thousands questions. Thousands of questions. Why one? Go on asking questions for whole life. Because you have accepted, you have started wrongly. When the starting point is wrong, then everything, whatever you meet on the way, it will be wrong. Suppose you are standing in a circle in the busy city somewhere. You want to go to a particular place, and a particular road is directed to that place, and somehow there is no uh, arrow mark, there is no indication. So you took a different track. Whatever you will meet in the path, in the way, are they right? Are they correct in your path? Are they right indications? All of the indications are wrong. Suppose you have heard some wrong road. Whatever milestones you go across, you meet, they are wrong. They are indications. Your goal is so many kilometers away. That information is wrong. Everything is wrong. So whatever you say, whatever you think, whatever you do, everything is done by the nature which is not there. It is just a changing phenomenon. Your question is not yours. It is because of wrong imagination. So delete all these. Just wipe out all these imaginations, and your mind will be in that equilibrium state. Then only you can understand how it looks altering or vibrating or something else. If I ask, when did the water start flowing in the mirage? When did it start? And why did it start? The water in the mirage.
Yes.
Similarly, I gave you the answer. When did the blueness of sky start? And why did it start? All these answers are totally wrong. And question also is wrong. Because we have started wrongly, all these answers will be wrong. The only true answer is it never started. There is no prana, there is no energy, there is no vital energy which can be named as prana and apana, which will start and end. No such things. So what is truth? What is the answer? Silence is the answer. Silence is the answer. The absolute. When you meet, when you experience that, you will understand why prana starts or why not. When that did it start or when will it end? All these questions will be understood when you keep quiet on the state of meditation. Then only you will understand. There is no answer to it. No answer.
Only one interesting question is what it was. Can we directly meditate on the absolute truth directly?
When I told you meditation is not a process, it is a state.
Yeah, this is state. This is my answer for you.
So you cannot meditate on the truth. It is a state of experience. Nobody can meditate on it. If somebody says, I am meditating on truth, he is bluffing.
And just continuation, just there's a question. Since we cannot say we can do meditation, does the state of meditation happen spontaneously by divine grace?
Of course, that is there. Divine grace is there. That itself is equilibrium. So we can do some self-effort. That effort is to delete the obstacles, to deny the obstacles. When you do pranayam you can do. That means you are doing effort to watch the outgoing and incoming wind, air. And when it stops, you cannot, neither you can watch it, nor you can
Say from where it comes and where it goes.
do anything there. That is the Kumbhak state. So be in Kumbhak and then you will understand. Experience Kumbhak and then you will understand why, when, and how prana starts or it ends. Then only you will understand. You will understand if you can experience Kumbhak.
So meditation is a self-effort to overcome all the hurdles to reach that state.
Yes, yes. Meditation, if you say you are meditating, it is not meditating, but it is removing all the obstacles on the path to reach that equilibrium state. Are you clear now?
Very
So that effort should be done. Nobody says don't do anything. The effort is to remove the obstacles. That's all. Thank you for today this much. And if you have got some more questions, you are welcome. You are welcome. You can pass on. And all of you are requested, all the people who are abroad, who are in different countries, you can have the questions and you can send these questions to our panel. Yes, and next time we shall start with the answers. The greatest question I have answered today. Can there be
starting and greatest question.
can there be any more questions over this? The blueness of sky answers all the questions. And if you do something, why do you do? Because you think you are the body, you have the senses, you have a prana, you have the energy. So all these questions arise. They should arise. And you have to answer them in the exact parallel manner. You have to do some effort by the senses, by stopping the outgoing and incoming wind. Call it prana or call it hell, I don't care. Call it anything you know. Some yogis, they have named it as prana and apana. We accept it. If you have got your own names, you can name it as you like. No problem. So we have discussed there is no outside, inside. So when there is no out and in, where is the movement then? Movement is understood when there is a demarcation line. And when one moves from in to out, then only movement. If there is no out and in, no demarcation, then how can there be any movement? How these words are meaningless when we analyze the meaning of it. They become meaningless. There is no demarcating line. How can you go from inside to outside? Can you? All these subtle points one should always think over and When the mind will be unable to bring out some conclusion, it will be quiet. That is the state of meditation. And that is the consequence of your contemplation. It comes by itself. Call it God's grace. Call it your own blessing. Call it
Divine grace.
divine grace. As you take it, as you like, take it. Thank you, Hari Om. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Mevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Sadguru ki jai, Satchidananda ki jai, Sadda Brahma ki jai, Saraswati Maharani ki jai, Yoga Vasistha Bhagavan ki jai. Hare